Let's talk about the INTP overthinking trap based specifically on your personality type, why overanalysis creates problems in your life and what you can do about it as an INTP. What's up, legend? Sherman here from Geek Psychology, where I'm helping people like us, type geeks, play life better through self-understanding, through understanding our character class and how to wield it better. See, as an INTP, you are an amazing thinker. Your brain is like a massive computer that endlessly can process all sorts of different dynamics and different possibilities and still narrow down and get very granular on the meaning of something, the technical understanding. What is this thing? And how does that become something I can leverage to engage with the world in a more efficient or effective or smarter way? I call INTPs the innovating adepts. So that word comes from your two main cognitive functions, which I'll break down in this video if you don't know about it already. So I talk about the life domains, LIFE, logic, ideas, feelings, experiences. And then you have on one side, you have the defensive classes, the introverted functions. And on the other side, you have the extroverted offensive classes. So we all are a mix of all of these, okay? Your dominant function, the hero of your life story, is introverted thinking, what I call the analyzing adept. So it is an analyzing character, part of yourself. It is in the L, life logic domain, and it is defensive. So what that means is you are doing your best to understand the world based off your own internal frameworks and subjective understanding. Not necessarily like, what are the metrics that I can measure outside of myself and how effective and efficient this is. That would be the other side, the offensive use of logic, the commander. But it's like, for you personally, how do you understand this thing? Does it make sense to you? Is it technically accurate? Is there a better word for it? Is there some way that you can refine or define it better to make, to get more clear on it? That is what the adept is doing. Introverted thinking is constantly doing that. So first of all, you can imagine that that is going to create some issues when thinking about something in the way that you're just always going to want to refine it and narrow down more and more and get a clearer and clearer understanding of it. But then you bring in your auxiliary function, which is there to help you, to support you, to carry the hero or to give advice to the hero as this mentor-like character within you. It's technically extroverted intuition, what I call the innovating explorer. And as you would imagine, as a character, okay, it's in the idea space and it's extroverted. So it's offensive. It's like, how can I get more ideas? How can I connect this up to more things? How can I shoot off like fireworks and explore new ideas or jump through a portal and go to this other place and just imagine more possibilities, more options, more potentials. And it is never satisfied with as much as it has. It always wants to connect more with something else or to get two things and slam them together, merge them together and see what comes out of that. It loves that. It loves that place. So you combine those two and you have this explorer who wants to endlessly get more possibilities, deeper a wider understanding of things in idea space. And then you have the adept who is trying to capture those and refine those and, turn them into magical spells, like understandings of things. A scroll, it's like, how do I capture the essence of this? You're conflicted in that sense. And we all have these, patterns in ourselves in certain ways. I'm an INFP, and I certainly have a similar variation to this. I have the explorer as well as my auxiliary function. So generating infinite possibilities and then trying to refine it creates this endless loop of, I need to study more, I need to research more, I need to understand more in order to get clear on this thing. And, it can feel like we're making progress when we are imagining different ideas, different potentials, different possibilities. But it is what I call fapping, falsely assuming progress it feels good to imagine all these different options and stuff, but if you don't actually ground it in reality in some way, you don't take that theory and put it into practice, then it doesn't really amount to much. Like, it doesn't show true understanding of something if there's an inability to convey it to somebody else. And most people do not think as deeply as you do. Most people will not spend even a quarter of the time thinking through something as you do. And that can be really frustrating when you're like, okay, I need to simplify it in order to get my message across. But once you get to that clear essence, the simplicity on the far side of complexity, and you've narrowed it down, you're like, okay, this is actually what it is. This is the essence of this whole thing. Then it becomes a lot easier to convey it to other people. And if that is your goal, then in my experience, the solution that I'm suggesting here is to break it down as much as you can, as you're going to anyway, and then apply it. Speed of implementation. Like, do something with it. Get some feedback from the outer world. If somebody's confused by it, then unfortunately, our job is to make it simple enough for the other person to understand it so that we can communicate it to them so that it has an impact on them or they can understand it as well. And that is a burden, I know, but it helps, and as an INTP, you have this part of you. It's your inferior function. It's an aspiration aspect of yourself, but it's the envoy. It's extroverted feeling. It wants to unify people. It wants to bring people together. Or in your case, probably, bring people together under the true understanding of something. Sharing with them the actual truth so that humanity thrives out of that. And you're not going to do that by overthinking it forever and falling in that trap. And if that is your goal, to share it with other people, to have some sort of impact in the world, to improve humanity in some way, or to actually just get clear and get to the actual truth. Because what we think in our heads is not always the actual truth. You don't know it until you test it, right? That will help with perfectionism and procrastination as well, because you know that you're going to have to deal with some flaws, work out the kinks, and then by version 3 of that idea or that concept, that theory, you're going to have a more refined, battle-tested version of it that you can share with other people. So remember that your brain is a tool and you are the master of it. And if you understand your cognitive functions, then you can say, okay, I'm too far into the Adept right now. It's the hero of my story. It's the highest level character. I understand this, but I need to, explore a little bit more, or I need to look into proven frameworks, or I need to see what is the impact that it's going to be on other people, on my team, my crew, my questing party. And by doing that, you level up.